Part of this group. I think it's fantastic to help each other, raise our our frequencies and pull out of that pool of fear that it's going around. And I want to explain a little bit about how fear makes the body more acidic, which in turn makes you more susceptible to any virus, including the COVID-19. When we have an emotion, depending on what emotion it is, it's basically an instruction for the body to do something. Now, for the body to do anything, it needs energy. And now we are talking about electrons, electromagnetic activity. So if I see a snake and it's going to create fear because, let's say, I don't like snakes, I'm going to jump and run. But imagine all the energy that it takes for me to jump and run. So every emotion is just meant to be the fuel that the body needs to create a motion, an activity, a change. So let's say we're looking at the news and we're very afraid of this COVID-19 virus, right? What are we going to do about it? Well, there's really not much to do with the body. So we start to store that emotion, that fear. We store it in the body because we're not running from it. We're not fighting it on a physical level. So we're just storing fear. And what happens when you run electromagnetic currents through water, we're mostly water, 70-80% water, H2O. When you run electricity through it, the molecule of H2O splits. And now you have OH and H. And let's say the OHs decide to end up in this area. So now this area has a higher concentration of OHs, which that just means the pH just went up. So now this is a more alkaline state, tissue or organ or cells. And wherever the H's end up, it becomes more acidic. Now, the virus is going to find the perfect home, right? So it's going to go straight to the acidic part of that organ or that body. So when we have an emotion that we're not expressing, that we're not actually using to create a positive change, all it's doing is creating that polarization of an organ. So the more that we fear this virus, the more acidic some areas of the body will become. Therefore, we're going to attract it even more, right? So first thing, it's not enough that I say don't fear it, right? Because then what? It's like when you go to a therapist and then they say, well, I want you to work on this. And you're like, well, how am I going to work on that? A little help here, right? So I want to give you the easiest, simplest way of allowing the pH to be as balanced as it can, while at the same time releasing the negative emotions or the emotions that have become toxic in your body, and achieving a little bit of peace in times of chaos. So the first thing is breath work, definitely breath work. So when you do a little bit of breath work, you basically hack into the vagus nerve. And once you start to bring a little bit more coherence to the communication from the heart to the brain, your brain starts to understand that most of its anxiety is not real, because fear of what is going on around me might be real, right? But fear about what's going on around, miles away or things that might not happen, it's not quite real. So I can just do some breath work. The simplest thing. Inhale in 4 seconds, exhale in 6. Always make sure that the exhalation is a little bit longer than the inhalation, about 20% to 40% longer. Also, while you inhale, imagine the number 1 and the color blue. It can be both, the number 1 in color blue, or the number 1 with a backdrop of color blue, or anything like that, right? Then on the exhalation, what you want to do is picture the word relax, or peace. So as I'm exhaling those 6 seconds, I want to picture that word relax. As I come to the end of the exhalation, I want to check the body to see which muscle is holding the most tension. So let's say I am doing it. I'm inhaling. I'm picturing the number 1, the color blue, and then I start to exhale. 6 seconds. As I'm coming to the end of the exhalation, I want to check. And right now, let's say I feel a little bit of tension here more than anything. Okay, so consciously, I'm going to relax that muscle. And after about a minute, a minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how stressed you are, you should feel the body like super loose, limp, relaxed. That's the state that you want to achieve to allow the body to start to balance the pH. Because as long as you're stressed, your body's not going to care about balancing the pH. It's just not, because it thinks that there's a lion behind you that wants to eat you. And most of the time, that lion is imaginary, right? So anyway, that's the main tool that anybody can do to relax themselves down, to hack into their vagus nerve and allow their bodies to become a little bit more balanced on the pH. That is going to have a big effect on your immune system. Now, if it's a little bit too late and you already have the COVID-19, which is just a virus, what can we do about it? Well, if you have magnets, you might want to get in touch with me, because a magnetic field has the ability to ionize parts of the body. Depending on what pole you use, you're able to bring back that H that we talked about, and the OHs, we're able to bring them back and form back again H2O, which will get rid of the acidic area, will get rid of the over alkaline area, and will just bring that into a perfect H2O balance, which then in turn allows the body to heal faster or to fight the infection faster. And I've seen infections that basically, like a virus could respond to a magnet in 5 or 10 minutes and the person be free of that virus. With bacteria, it's a little bit more difficult. They tend to they're a lot more evolved, so it might take half an hour. It might take a few treatments, but the virus, it's just one engineer that helps our DNA evolve. So it's really part of the evolution, right? So don't have fear, do your breath work. And if you do know of anybody that has a flu, has maybe even the COVID-19, and you want to let them know, have them call me, or I don't know, send me a message or anything, and I might be able to help. Anyway, have a beautiful day. Love you all. Bye-bye.